service members, veterans, and their families who are a vital component of our community. Today, presented by USAA, we honor members of the United States Coast Guard. The U.S. Coast Guard is an adaptable, responsive military force of maritime professionals who provide a persistent presence along our rivers, ports, littoral regions, on the high seas, and is the only military service within the Department of Homeland Security. In 1916, Congress authorized the Coast Guard to establish 10 air stations throughout the nation. The Coast Guard's first aviator, Commander Elmer Stone, was the first commanding officer of what is now Coast Guard Sector San Diego. Today, please join us in celebrating over 100 years of Coast Guard aviation in a place with deep ties to its origins, America's finest city, San Diego. On the baselines today are the men and women who protect San Diego's coasts and waterways. At home plate, please welcome a U.S. Coast Guard World War II veteran who served in both Europe and the Pacific, was in the Battle of Normandy at Utah Beach, and was a recipient of 2 Bronze Stars for his bravery and exemplary service, Bernie Trifoso. Please join the Padres in a round of applause for this Coast Guard veteran and the United States Coast Guard. At this time, we'd like to ask all fans to please rise and remove your caps as our veterans in the crowd salute the flag. Presenting our nation's colors today, the U.S. Coast Guard Sector San Diego's Color Guard. Next, please welcome, from the Aids to Navigation Team, U.S. Coast Guard Sector San Diego, who has performed the national anthem at Petco Park for 10 consecutive years, Petty Officer Mike Gallagher. Please sing along as he presents the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
National anthem. And let's hear it for the flyover by U.S. Coast Guard Sector San Diego's MH-60 Jayhawk aircraft.
We welcome you to Military Sunday presented by USAA. The U.S. Coast Guard honored here today. It's Military Sunday every Sunday when the Padres are at home, and today a special day once again as always. And again, we welcome you to Military Sunday presented by USAA. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres baseball. It's been a struggle lately for the Padres. They've lost 5 in a row, and the last full time through the rotation, they've really struggled. The starters trying to get the ship righted here today.
Yeah, they've got to get going, and they got to turn it around. They need to make an adjustment, and the proof is in the pudding and the numbers. Now, granted, I will say this, a lot of contact by the opposition, Milwaukee and the Arizona Diamondbacks, and some pitches have been made off the end of the bat. You get jammed, it finds a hole. That's going to happen. But a lot of hard hit balls. Milwaukee, they like the long ball. Arizona, they like the long ball. In the last 5 games, an ERA at 9.5. Opponents saying 3.44. Hey, quality pitches need to be made. I'm talking about a couple of inches, maybe 2, 3, 4 inches. The difference in a line drive rather than a fly ball and then a ground ball. But they need to make an adjustment. Some have found the holes, but a lot of contact. The walks have been low. Not a lot of walks from the starters, but they need to make better pitches.
Clayton Richard gets the nod today as we send it down to field level. And Bob Scanlon. Bob?
Thank you, Don. There's no question that the starting rotation has been the topic over the last couple of days, as it should be. But Andy Green puts a little perspective on both what the Padre rotation needs to do today and how they've actually done prior to this slight poor streak that they had the last couple of games. Here's what Andy had to say.
I know in Weave's case, he's out there giving everything he absolutely can, and didn't work out too well last start for him. For Luis Perdomo, that's one outing in probably his last full season of baseball at this point in time that's gone really badly. So I don't strike that up as anything more than coincidence, not executing, get back to the drawing board on doing some things better. I don't think he's out there putting pressure on himself, trying to carry the baseball team. And outside of those 2 starts, you can go back to the Milwaukee series, the Chicago series, the Texas series. It was actually a really good string of starts from our starters, and it gave us opportunity to win games. Now, I think we had opportunities with the bullpen, and we didn't hold on to them there. We didn't put a lot of runs on the board. So I think over the course of a season, when you experience losing and losing streaks, it bounces around. A little bit of time it's starting. Sometimes it's bullpen. Sometimes it's offense. Keep a positive vibe. Keep guys believing that you're about to start on a good streak, and get those things clicking in the right direction altogether.
So Andy trying to put some perspective on it. Remember, guys, prior to those 2 outings, 8 of the 9 previous outings, the rotation had allowed 3 earned runs or less. So hopefully Clayton can return back to that mode. Don?
All right, thanks very much, Scan. The first pitch of the ball game here from Clayton Richard as he deals with the leadoff hitter for the Diamondbacks, Gregor Blanco, leading it off here. Bright sunshine as we wrap up the homestand and the series against the Diamondbacks. That's in there for a strike in. It's 1-1. Clayton Richard on the hill today for the Padres.
33-year-old making his 10th start. Movement on the corners and ground balls galore, hopefully. Working down in the zone, going up out of the zone by design.
There's a grounder at Spangenberg at second base. And a good start there for Richard to get that first ground out. 1 down. Let's check out the Diamondbacks starting lineup today for Torey Lovullo. In the finale of the series, Gregor Blanco, we just saw, is in center field with Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Paul Goldschmidt at first base with Chris Owings in right field. Yasmani Tomas in left with Brandon Drury at second base. Jake Lamb at third with Chris Iannetta back in the lineup today. And Zach Godley, the pitcher, batting out of the 9th spot for Arizona. 1 down for Nick Ahmed. He dances out of the way. And the pitch down and in. Fastball at 93 miles an hour from Clayton Richard. Ahmed at 256, 4 homers and 11 runs batted in, coming in. Came in defensively in each of the first 2 games of the series, his first start of the series, and he gets the nod at shortstop. And the guy that played shortstop the first 2 games, Chris Owings, has moved to right field. Pretty versatile roster that Torey Lovullo has here. Some moving parts, always good when you're a manager, have some of those guys.
And plus the position of the Diamondbacks are in to have those moving parts. A lot of teams that, are kind of in the middle of the pack or maybe towards the bottom of their division. You see that quite a bit. Well, that's a feather in the cap for Torey Lovullo.
There's Chris Owings, who today gets the start in right field. It's had a good series so far, and really a season series against the Padres. 1-2 is kind of yanked down and in. Well, the first inning has been the biggest nemesis for the Padres in the last 2 games. 7 runs in the first game on Friday night. Last night, 5 runs. There's a grounder foul. Defensively for the Padres, and their defense is brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Left to right in the outfield, Alan Cordoba, Manuel Margot, and Hunter Renfroe. Third to first, Ryan Schimpf, Eric Ibar, Corey Spangenberg, and Will Myers. Doing the catching today, Austin Hedges. And a liner to right, Renfroe coming in to make the catch, below the cap high, 2 down. It's time now for our USAA Take the Field with members of the United States Coast Guard who are on the field prior to the game and getting a chance to meet the players and one-on-one, signing some baseballs as well, as we see every Sunday, a military Sunday here at Petco Park in San Diego, and the players always giving their appreciation to the men and women in the military. And again, this week it's the Coast Guard that is being honored. This is to deep right. Renfroe back at the wall, makes the catch and then bangs into it. Goldschmidt gives it a ride. He is out number 3. And it's a 1-2-3 first inning. Renfroe with a nice grab in right field. Padres are coming up. Do not score at the top of the first. Padres are coming up, and it's time now for our weather report, brought to you by your always sunny San Diego Honda dealers. 75 degrees with a breeze from the west at 10 miles per hour, and the forecast for more of the same. Not a cloud in the sky as we get this game started. Blue skies above. Don Orsillo, Mark Grant, and Bob Scanlon with you for the finale of this series. And for Andy Green, his Padres lineup is brought to you by Toyota. Manuel Margot leading it off in center field. Alec Cordoba in left with Will Myers at first base. Ryan Schimpf at third. Hunter Renfroe in right. Corey Spangenberg at second with Austin Hedges doing the catching. Eric Ibar at shortstop, and Clayton Richard is the pitcher batting out of the 9 spot. Margot stands in, and the first pitch from Zach Godley is going to miss outside.
Well, the right-hander, well, he's got the build for a pitcher. Strong Zach Godley. Fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup. Good changeup. Fastballs early. Breaky balls later.
Down to third, and Jake Lamb throws across for out number 1. Well, defensively for the Diamondbacks, left to right across the outfield. Yasmani Tomas in left with Gregor Blanco, the former Giant, in center. Chris Owings around in right. Third to first, Jake Lamb, Nick Ahmed, Brandon Drury, and Paul Goldschmidt, with Chris Iannetta returning his first start behind the dish since being hit in the face with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball last week in Arizona. Cordoba standing in here with 1 down in the first inning.
There's one pitch I want to keep an eye on today from Godley. He throws a changeup that acts like a curveball. He throws a spiked curveball, but the changeup, I'm not going to say it's like a gyro ball, but it actually kind of works down like a traditional curveball. And this guy is a competitor too. He will challenge hitters with the best of them.
Line towards left center field. Blanco coming in and over, and he'll make the running catch. Covered a lot of ground out there in center field and handles out number 2. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
I think you're going to like this one. No catch up, thank you. Catch up, guess it, get it? Playing catch up the last 2 games.
Gotcha.
And that's not fun.
No.
Big innings for the Padres. Hey, let's turn the mojo for the Friars on this Military Sunday. Let's make everybody here and the Coast Guard who are honoring today happy and put together some big innings and walk away with a victory.
2 down for Will Myers, and he'll take a look at strike 1. Been a quiet couple of days for Myers. 0 for 7 in the series. 4 for 21 on the homestand. Still got 50 hits though on the year. 11th most in the majors. 7th in the National League. 281, 11 homers, and 27 runs batted in. And a liner down the left field line into the seats.
Boston is winning 2-1 over Oakland in the 3rd. And Cleveland winning big over the Astros 8-3 in the 9th. That one's almost in the books. Final Yankees over the Rays.
So 2 down to Myers here waiting on an 0-2. And a check swing on a ball in the dirt outside.
So we've seen the fastball, the cut fastball, and now the breaking ball from Godley. Nice block right there by Iannetta.
Myers 0 for his last 10 at the plate. Fly ball down the right field line. Owings headed towards the line and over to make the catch. A 1-2-3 bottom of the 1st inning, scoreless after 1. Padres are scoreless through 1, and 4, 5, and 6 coming up here for the D-backs. Chris Owings, Yasmani Tomas, and Brandon Drury scheduled to bat in the inning. Just a picturesque, beautiful San Diego day in America's finest city. Owings will take strike 1. .331 average coming in for Owings. 5 homers, 24 runs batted in, and Torey Lovullo will find a way to get him in the lineup every day. Shortstop first 2, right field today. And fly ball out to right center has Margot moving over. He'll make the catch for the first out of the second inning.
Clayton Richard needs to find that groove. Keep him consistently in the windup. Have his infielders work early outs. 2 of the first 3 pitches thrown hopefully are strikes. That puts the hitters on the defensive, right? Rather than 2-1, you want to be 1-2.
1 out here in the second brings up Tomas. Close to the plate is Tomas, per usual.
Yeah, that tells me the guys like to spin on fastballs in. Although you can go up the ladder to Tomas on the inside part of the plate.
He will chase.
Yes, he will.
9 home runs, 31 runs batted in. A tough outing last time out for Clayton Richard. That was against Milwaukee and at home. 6 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 7. Beginning of a stretch in which the Padres have lost 5 straight games. Strike called, and it's 3-1. Fly ball down the right field line. Long run for Renfroe towards foul ground. He'll make the catch right at the line and technically in fair ground. 2 down here in the second. Let's check in with Bob Scanlon.
Don, the Padres making a roster move today. They acquired off waivers from the Boston Red Sox 30-year-old infielder Chase d'Arnaud. d'Arnaud is expected to join the ball club. Of course, there will be a corresponding roster move to make room for him on the 40-man roster. The Padres sent Carter Capps to the 60-day DL. That's certainly disappointing. They were hoping that the right-hander might be able to help the bullpen out sooner than that, but he is still in Peoria throwing bullpens. In other medical news, 2 MRIs scheduled today for Padre players. First of all, Trevor Cahill tried to throw yesterday, did not feel very good. The team has decided an MRI is appropriate, and the same thing for the left hip of Jared Weaver. Results from those MRIs should be coming in the next couple of days. Guys?
All right, thanks very much, Scan. And bad news on a couple of fronts there. As we'll start with Carter Capps.
Yeah.
He's so close in spring training to be ready and not going to be happening. And the second thing, of course, Trevor Cahill appeared to be no big deal. Now it is a big deal, it seems, anytime you go to get an MRI.
Yeah, you know, you've got the closer. I'm talking bullpen here now with Mauer. He's the closer, and you always like to have that one other right arm that can make a difference in a ball game.
Margot behind Renfroe makes the catch out there in right center. 8.5 done. Scoreless from Petco. Finale of the series, finale of the homestand for the Padres. They'll be headed out after the game to New York. Day off tomorrow, and 3 games with the Mets and 3 games with the Washington Nationals on the next trip. Ryan Schimpf leading it off. Hunter Renfroe and then Corey Spangenberg featured in the inning. In there for strike 1 from Zach Godley, who had a 9-pitch 1-2-3 first inning. Schimpf with 9 homers, 19 runs batted in, and batting in the cleanup spot today.
You know, with the way both games have gone, game 1 and 2 of this series, I think we're in store for a pitcher's duel, don't you think?
I believe we are.
And hopefully the Padres come out and play 8.5 on this Military Sunday.
Elevates, Schimpf chases and fouls it off at the dish. Cutter from Godley at 91 miles an hour. Zach Godley coming in 1-0 with a 1.93 earned run average, and this marks his 4th start here in the majors this season. Kind of surrounded the plate but missed outside.
This kid's got a great build for a pitcher. 6'3", 240. I mean, look at the ham hocks on the kid.
In there by Iannetta.
Look at the calves. Oh my gosh. That's strong. That's going to equal innings over the course of a long summer.
Center field, but right at Blanco. Man, a little bit of a knuckleball on him out there. Swung to his right, but he's able to pull it in for the first out as Schimpf retired. They changed direction in a hurry. So 1 out here in the 2nd inning brings up Hunter Renfroe.
That ball hit to center field. Blanco almost surrounded him.
I don't think that's possible.
No?
No.
Why is that?
Well, because you can't go fully around something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 1 out for Hunter Renfroe. Little number foul. Trying to steal my smack.
I've got a good feeling about today. I don't know why, I just do.
Fly ball left center field for Renfroe. Back goes Blanco, almost to the track, but shy of it. For out number 2. 4 straight flyouts here off of Zach Godley. I want to remind you, the day after the Padres score 5 or more runs, get 50% off any regular menu price online order at papajohns.com. Just enter promo code Padres5. 2 down in the 2nd inning brings up Corey Spangenberg. Spangenberg getting the start at second base today. That shows bunt, pulls it back and takes a strike, but instantly grabs the attention of Jake Lamb at third base, charging in.
This is where I think the cutter from Zach Godley can pay dividends against a hitter like Spangenberg. Cutters in, try to avoid the sweet spot. See if Corey can adjust to that, if in fact he does get that pitch. That's the spike curveball. You see, he goes into his glove with a split grip for his changeup, and then he will adjust accordingly to what sign is given.
Little flare to right, and that's going to be run down by Brandon Furry in short right field to end the inning. In order to go the Padres, no score through 2.
Special appreciation going out today to the Coast Guard of the United States, and we're joined, actually honored to be joined by Sector Commander and Captain of the Port of San Diego, Captain Joe Buzella. Captain, thank you so much for your service, and thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having us. It's a great day to be in Coast Guard City, San Diego.
Now, you've been all over the world. How is it being stationed in San Diego? Not too bad?
Oh, it's phenomenal. I mean, we're a Coast Guard city, and this is the reason why we're a Coast Guard city. The Padres, very supportive of the U.S. Coast Guard, and they're doing us with great honor today.
And your son got a chance to participate in the pregame ceremonies. You got a chance to ring the bell. How'd that go for him?
He loved it, and he got a jersey out of it too. So he's wearing a nice Padres shirt and proud of it.
What does it mean to the military when you know how much support that the Padres give and having these military Sundays?
I'll tell you, knowing that we have the community supporting us, it drives readiness. It allows us to get out there and do our job, knowing that the community's back here helping us stay ready and supporting us from behind the scenes.
And there's so much that the Coast Guard does, including the security, the safety, and not only that, but you guys do the search and rescue stuff, which I imagine you've been on a few of those missions. What is that like?
I've done a few of those. It can go from boring to sheer terror real quick, but we're proficient. We train every day, and we're ready for the call when the call comes in. And our troops back at Sector San Diego are standing on the watch, ready to go.
Captain, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for your service. Enjoy the ballgame.
Thanks for the support. Semper Paratus.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. Well, Chris Iannetta, who had not had an at-bat since he was hit in the face with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, you kind of wondered how he would react in his first at-bat, and he just took one out of the yard.
Don, I was thinking right along with you there. After getting hit in the face, we talked about it the other night with Mark Sweeney. How would Iannetta react? Well, he's got the face guard on his helmet, and I tell you what, he looked very comfortable at the plate there. Hugs in the dugout for the Diamondback catcher. And I'm sure not only Iannetta feels good, but his teammates and Torey Lovullo, the manager, how his reaction was at the plate there, going opposite field.
It is a 1-0 Arizona lead, and here's Zach Godley, the pitcher, third year in the majors for him, a 121 batter.
So it looks like no gun shine is there for
guess
Iannetta.
not. And you know, you think about it, you probably want to go up there and be pretty aggressive. And
That's
he
true.
was.
Yep.
Watched him look on the first two games of the series. He had been activated before the first game, but did not get into any until today, making the start.
You know, I remember Chris Young, the pitcher. He got a laser beam hit off his forehead off the bat of Albert Pujols. And I'm just trying to think of the mentality of a player like Chris Iannetta as we take a look at him. I heard a story after that happened.
Knocking it down as Myers stays with it. Richard will cover, and it's in time. What a play. Myers to knock it down. Richard to quickly get over there. The combination gets the out at first base of Zach Godley. Nicely done.
The main thing here is that Will Myers knocks this ball down and keeps it within reach, and then it's a photo finish at first base. As soon as that ball was struck, Clayton Richard over to first base. Glove it, look for the bag, and very, very close. But I think they got him right. Oh, that's closer than I thought. That's closer than I thought.
They are not going to challenge. Lovullo just giving the sign to home plate umpire. They're not going to challenge. Clayton Richard trying to grab his breath right now.
Well, Chris Young got hit in the head, forehead, line drive right off the bat, right? I mean, split his forehead open, kind of a little minor fracture in his skull. He bounced back from it. But Greg Maddux went up to him and said, you know what, there's your 1 in a million. That's the mentality you have to take when that happens. That's your 1 in a million, and it's done with. Go out there and do what you know best.
Blanco pops out here to Ibar, and that's out number 3 of this third inning without a score from San Diego. And it's time now for the Mini Countryman player profile. And today we're going to profile the manager, 24th round pick, 729th overall in the 2000 Major League Draft by the Diamondbacks. And you're talking about a long shot to make the major leagues, and he did. This went on to coach for the Diamondbacks as well. Last job there was as the third base coach.
Those are the stories I like. Because let's face it, you're a first rounder, right?
Sure.
You're expected to make it to the big leagues.
Maybe not with the organization that drafts you first, but you'll get other chances.
But it's stories like this that really tell you, I think, a lot about the individual. Because Dustin Pedroia, right? There's a perfect example.
That he was a higher draft choice.
Right. But when you look at, I think you'd win a lot of bets with people who aren't really into the baseball scene. Let's say you're walking down the street and you see Dustin Pedroia and you said, hey, see that guy there? He was an American League MVP. Right. Oh, come on. That's the beauty of baseball, right?
Yep. They come in all shapes and sizes.
Right.
You can play this game.
Mike Piazza, one of the last picks.
Austin Hedges leading it off here in the bottom of the third inning. First 6 Padres have been retired by Zach Godley today. It's Hedges, Zybar, and Richard featured in the inning. One ground out, 5 flyouts so far for Godley.
But getting back to that Chris Young story, because it was a quick inning, you see the mentality there. Greg Maddux went to Chris Young and said, hey, dude, that's your 1 in a million. Meaning, hey, go back out there, get back on the horse when you're healthy. The chances of that happening again are very, very slim. I think that's the mentality players have to take.
I've seen some guys go the other way, though, which is tough. Remember Bryce Flory?
Oh, yeah.
He got hit
in the eye, right?
Yeah, and it was pretty bad. And then after that, every time that he would throw a ball that would come back anywhere near him or anything on the ground, he would flinch.
Wow.
And it just never sort of got over it. This is back up the middle. Drury off balance to throw in time to get Hedges. And once it happened, it never just really got out of his head, I think.
And as a pitcher, you know, you're out there worrying about hitting your spots, throwing your pitches, getting ahead, getting outs, to where you get desensitized to realize how close you are once you let go of that ball. I mean, you're about 50 feet away.
And let me just to follow up on the Bryce Flory thing. To finish up on the story, he did get hit again 2 starts later. So the 1 in a million thing, It happened to him again in Toronto.
Where'd it get him the second time?
I think it was in the stomach or in the ribs somewhere, but I mean, he got it. It came right back at him again. It was like, here we go again, you know. Eric Ibar batting here with 1 down in the third. Matt Clement was one of the worst ones I've ever seen in Tampa. On the mound there, he was on the ground for a long time.
You know what? A lot of sinker ballers,
former Padre, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. A lot of sinker ballers get that ball up the middle because, especially the lefties, they go out and get it, and they take it right back where it came from.
Ibar at 208, 4 home runs, 8 runs batted in. Was grounded by the mound as Drury to the backhand goes up into the air to make the throw, a la Derek Jeter there on the other side of the infield. Going up into the air to make that throw. 2 down in the inning. Zach Godley getting the start today for the Diamondbacks.
He throws the curveball for strikes 71% of the time. That's that spike curveball. It's one of the strengths for the right-hander against right-handed batters. He has a tendency for hitters to chase that curveball down and away. Of course, when he gets ahead, it's probably more dominant with that pitch. And you see the tools in that toolbox and the range of miles per hour on each pitch. Low 90s for Zach Godley.
2 down here in the third inning, and Clayton Richard. Home run, 21 RBIs in his 9-year career. .214 average this year. And squaring, he'll bunt it foul. Gregor Blanco, center fielder, moving over towards left center. Gap out there in right center. And a grounder back to the mound. Godley will run a bit, flip underhanded, and retire the side. Done with 3. Diamondbacks have a 1-0 lead. Top half of the 4th inning. Beautiful day in San Diego. Don Orsillo, Mark Sweeney joining us, and Mark Grant, as the Padres off to a much better start here today so far, and Clayton Richard off to a good start as well.
Yeah, especially that first inning. I think we alluded to it on our pregame show, the importance of the first inning. Obviously, the first 2 games of this series did not go so well for the Padres.
I think it's just so important to Clayton Richard to find that groove, and because we know what kind of a groove he can get into. The infielders are busy, not a lot of deep counts, quick ball games, and hopefully they score for him to salvage at least 1 game of this series.
Padres have lost 5 straight. We went over the starts for each of the starters the last time through, and they were not good. They lost 5. Nick Ahmed leading it off and sending one to center field. Margot will go back a few steps and make the catch for out number 1.
Well, Mark, I wanted to ask you too, and I said in our pregame show, what Clayton Richard does, and it's uncomfortable for hitters, is when he gets in a groove and a rhythm in his pace in between pitches. He's a quick worker, and that's uncomfortable for a lot of hitters. To a pitcher's standpoint, why don't more of them do that?
I'm right there with you. If I was a pitching coach, and I've said this before, I would start at the A-ball level when kids are drafted. As an organization, we don't want you to go overboard, and as soon as you get that ball back, you're hopping back up on the run. But get in a good groove. Don't be walking around the mound, especially your defenders. They hate it.
Well, I say this too because Clayton Richard has the ability to slow himself down too, and that's something I think you need to learn. But from the hitter's perspective, if you are comfortable in the box and you're getting a lot of time, it's easy for you to get yourself in a rhythm and also execute your plan.
He's slow and deliberate with his delivery, which is fine because he's got to catch up with the arm slot. But watch when he gets his ball back. I mean, he gets right back in contact with the rubber and wanting to go. I love that.
Yeah, the thing that drives me crazy is when a pitcher will go off the mound towards the catcher. He has enough arm strength to throw it back to you.
To short and to the backhand for Ibar. The throw gets there in plenty of time. 2 down. It's time now for the Arco top tier player profile, and we'll take a look at Chris Owings, who right now most hits in the last 7 days. He's got 12 of them. Adam Frazier and Devin Travis both with 13. 7 others tied at 12 along with Chris Owings, but he's been very impressive and certainly in the first 2 games of this series. As he comes to bat for the second time today. Batting with 2 down, bases empty in the 4th inning.
Talk about using the whole field as well.
And Chris Iannetta is the difference in this game. His home run to right center field. And when you were talking about it after taking that 93-mile-an-hour fastball in the face, we kind of wondered how he would react. Well, he reacted here very aggressively and hitting a home run.
Well, you think about it, and just stepping in the box is an accomplishment because of what goes through your head, and that's a nice fix.
It's a third on a big hop, and Ryan Schimpf. It's a 1-2-3 top of the 4th. It's a 1-0 Diamondbacks lead. To the bottom of the 4th inning, the home run by Iannetta. Now we take a look at rookie leaders. Most among Major League rookie hitters, and Manuel Margot at 47 to lead everybody. Aaron Judge with 45 second, Andrew Benintendi with 44, and Yuli Gurriel with 37 for the Astros.
Well, he's handled himself so well at the top of the order, which is a daunting task for a lot of organizations to find that prototypical leadoff hitter.
9 in a row retired by Zach Godley to start his outing. It is the top of the order, so second time through now. Margot, Cordoba, and Myers featured here in the last of the 4th inning. Grounded out to the third baseman Jake Lamb in the 1st inning. 4 ground ball outs, 5 flyouts so far for Godley. And here's a pop-up. Foul ground. Paul Goldschmidt over by the dugout. Will not have a play. Down the stairs of the opposing dugout goes Goldschmidt, but it's inside the Padres dugout, out of his reach.
Now, guys, you touched on it last night, and Mike Butcher, the pitching coach of the Arizona Diamondbacks, has stressed a lot, and it's showing, especially this homestand against the Diamondbacks, of pitching at the top of the strike zone. You're seeing these Arizona Diamondbacks pitchers predominantly work up in the zone, and it's uncomfortable area.
Remember, we saw that Taijuan Walker in the desert against the Padres. And then you drop the hammer at the bottom of the zone. Wow, what a contrast.
First strikeout of the day for Godley is out number 1 of the 4th inning. So 1 out here in the 4th, and it brings up Alan Cordoba, who flied out to center field in the 1st. Look at his last 8 games. He's been very good, especially at the plate. Reaches out and pokes it down the right field line. Owings moving over, but that's going to fall fair. And Cordoba trying to get back to first will be out. He rounded first, and Owings saw how far he got off the bag and fired behind him to first base. And Cordoba is thrown out after the base hit to right.
Cutter away, all upper half, all arms. Now, great recognition by Owings, throwing behind the runner, and that's a P-Rod. Taking advantage of the aggressiveness of Cordoba. You know, most outfielders, they'll come up, maybe deke, but he saw plenty of daylight. And that keeps Godley in the windup.
Now Will Myers getting his second look. Myers flied out to right field, and Chris Owings in his first at bat in the first inning. 0 for 8 in the series for Will. Bouncing in, and Godley upset with himself in that last delivery.
You know, guys, there's so many times, especially when things aren't going well, that you try to take it in your own hands. Alan Cordoba, the young outfielder, just trying to be overly aggressive in that scenario.
Yeah, and it hurts also because you get Godley into the stretch. You got Will Myers coming up who could possibly put a charge into one. Good hitters count here for Will.
It did seem like Cordoba was thinking about going to second base too. Trying to get a double on that. Myers down the right field line towards the corner and the pole, but it'll go foul.
Yeah, you think about Cordoba and what he was thinking, the plays in front of him. He was hoping that that was going to drop again, take an extra hop, and possibly get to second base with the one out. But you got to know your players too. Chris Owings, normally a shortstop, accurate arm. And to your point, Mark, knowing Will Myers is hitting behind you.
Ball 4, and Myers down to first base, so a walk on a close pitch. This walk allowed by Godley in his outing. And we'll bring up Ryan Schimpf.
Hey, trying to make that one hurt. I thought, honestly, that was a pretty good pitch. Ramon de Jesus, the home plate umpire, isn't going to give Godley the call, so hey, pass it on to Ryan Schimpf to do some damage, hopefully.
Ryan 4 for his last 32 at the plate. Out of the lineup yesterday, back in there again today. Joy's facing the Diamondbacks. 8 of his 29 home runs in the majors have come against these Arizona Diamondbacks. They're shifting on him as Godley backs off and looks Myers back to the bag.
Well, he's got to be aware of Will Myers. He knows it's a running situation because of the 2 outs. And with that shift, just the scenarios of how they're going to handle it in the middle of the infield if he indeed steals.
I was confused by your defensive alignment
Yeah,
over there. Where was the number 1 guy?
Yeah, it went 2, 3, 4, didn't it? Yeah.
I was trying to find the 1 guy, but I couldn't see him. I didn't know.
I'm calling malfunction on the telestrator.
Do you want to try again?
Yeah, I will. Let's take a look at that shift on the right side for the Diamondbacks once again.
Here comes the 1.
Here we go.
Yeah. And then you've got the 1 guy over here on the left side with a big hole over there.
It's a lot of stuff.
All the neat tricks you can do over there. You're an artist.
Thank you.
Artsy.
throw over and picked off at first is Myers. This is an ugly inning of base running for the Padres. Cordoba thrown out after the single at first. Myers picked off for out number 3. 1-0 Diamondbacks. By the all-new 2017 Subaru Impreza. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 28 miles per gallon. More than a car, it's a Subaru. And by USAA, proudly serving the needs of the military community for over 90 years. Military Sunday back here in San Diego at Petco Park. Into the 5th we go with the Diamondbacks on top 1-0 and a liner into center field for a base hit for Yasmani Tomas. Aboard with a single to begin things here in the 5th inning.
You guys feel that the Diamondbacks have been aggressive first pitch this series, right?
Absolutely. With great results.
Yeah. And I found it interesting because when we talk about Luis Perdomo, we talk about Clayton Richard, the ground ball always comes into play. A little nugget here. Did you guys know that the San Diego Padres have also allowed 164 ground ball hits in 2017? That's the most in the majors. They've given up 66 runs on the ground ball.
Nice stab by Spangenberg into the air to reel that in.
They're really good on line drives.
Perfect positioning and get up there. Timed it perfectly.
He was right at the apex going up to make that catch.
That's a good word.
I don't know what it means, but I think it works in that sentence.
It sure does.
1 on, 1 out, and Jake Lamb 0 for 1 in the ball game.
I mean, let's face it, you know, they've given up home runs, some hard hit balls, but I thought it was interesting. The Padres have given up 66 runs, the most in MLB this year, on the ground ball. Hey, they're getting ground balls, they're just finding holes. And then when you put that and combine with the home runs and the hard hit balls, you know, the extra base hits, it inflates the numbers.
Well, it's just interesting because so many times we talk about the defensive shifts, and it seems like guys are starting to go against the defensive shifts more so this year. We wonder if these organizations are asking these guys to do something differently.
Check swing dribbler foul. And with an 8-game hitting streak, we're down to first base in the 3rd inning, 0 for 1. He's got at least an extra base hit in 5 straight games. In the last 5 games, 10 for 20. Swing and a miss, and Richard picks up his first strikeout of the day. Out number 2 with the 5th inning.
I loved it how Clayton just hung there just a little bit with the leg kick and then goes plateward. And there you see the spike curveball, breaking ball, whatever you want to call it. Hey, I'll call it a punchy.
Was that the flamingo?
Not
no,
so
that's
much.
Perdomo.
That's Perdomo, but that wasn't so much the flamingo because he didn't really pause that long.
Okay. 2 down for Chris Iannetta.
The one-legged flamingo.
That was probably one of the lines of the year so far. What did you Google? One-legged flamingos?
And they popped up.
Yep. Don, have you been to the world-famous San Diego Zoo yet?
I have.
Right when you go in the entrance there, the flamingos are right there.
They're right there. Most of them are standing on 2 feet.
Not when they're resting.
In there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Their
favorite.
legs also bend the other way.
Uh-oh.
The panda bear is my favorite.
Really?
It's kind of like you. You ever been? You've been?
I have.
Okay, you've seen the panda bear?
Yes.
He sits there kind of grazing, like,
You know,
on his back, just eating,
well,
like all day.
I'll give you a little nugget. You know, if I could
Chicken
come back,
nugget.
if I could come back as an animal,
You come back as a panda.
no, a koala bear. You want to know why?
Is there cute?
They eat nothing but eucalyptus. They hang in trees and they sleep like 19 hours a day. So they just sleep, and then when they wake up, they're hungry. They just eucalyptus.
You
back to
heard
the
it
rack.
here first.
Back to the rack.
Mud would like to be a koala bear.
Eat and sleep.
You don't get that in many places.
Oh, that's great.
And here's the 2-2.
I would definitely want to be a lion.
Yeah.
King of the
the
jungle.
forest.
Yeah.
Simba.
Some foul back to the screen. Leadoff single by Tomas started this inning. And then Drury lined out. Lamb struck out. That is strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Clayton Richard. Halfway through, Diamondbacks have a 1-0 lead. As we take a look at starting pitchers and the lowest starters ERA this season, Mike Leake of the Cardinals 2.03, Clayton Kershaw, who's always in that conversation at 2.15, and Ivan Nova formerly of the Yankees. Most RBIs this season. Mark Reynolds off to a tremendous start. First baseman for the Rockies. Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals. Jake Lamb right here with the Diamondbacks. And Bryce Harper having another great year. Highest on base percentage, speaking of Bryce Harper, we'll see on the next road trip at 463. Freddie Freeman, who's now on the DL, and Justin Turner is also on the DL.
When you think about Mark Reynolds coming to the Colorado Rockies as a non-roster invitee, that's been the story. Obviously Zimmerman for the Nationals, which we're going to see also on the road trip. That's going to be an offense that's pretty spectacular.
And you look at those pitching leaders, what's the common theme, the common thread? Guys that throw with great location, they have movement, and they can pitch backwards, and the results are there as far as the low ERA. Mike Leake, sinker, slider, changeup.
Does Ivan Nova surprise you?
Very much so.
Yeah.
In the air to right field, down the line towards the pole. Is it fair? Is it foul? It is fair, and it is gone. Ryan Schimpf with a home run, his 10th of the year, and the game is tied 1-1.
Well, down and in is his nitro zone for Ryan Schimpf. This has to feel really good. It's been a struggle at times for Ryan Schimpf, but watch the location. Down in the strike zone, and he can elevate with the best of them. That is absolutely crushed down the line inside the fair pole.
I saw Ryan Schimpf in the video room today, spending a lot of time with Mark McGwire, working with Alan Zinter in the cage, of course, but whatever it was they were going over, it paid off.
You know, the hard thing for hitting always is the blend of how you use video, but also mechanically work in the cages, but then let it happen. And you see the rookie leaders for the NL. Hunter Renfroe continues to climb up those ranks.
You know, Mark, you make a good point regarding the mechanics and making it work at the plate, because you want it to become second nature. In the cage, on the tee, you're thinking about it to where it comes repetition, to where you get in the box, you don't think about it, and becomes second nature, right?
To right center, and that ball is going to one-hop the wall. Chris Owings plays the carom quickly and fires back in towards the infield, but it's a double for Renfroe, and a great start to this bottom of the 5th inning for the Padres.
Well, last road trip, we saw Hunter Renfroe make a huge adjustment. He was taking more pitches, getting deeper in counts, and also approach to right center, letting the ball travel. You see the head down on this baseball, and this is really good mechanically getting that foot down, but watch the head on the ball. Continues to work down because he lets the ball travel. That does not reduce the power. And this is scalded into right center gap for a double.
You know, I'd love to see a guy, a right-handed hitter, pull the ball and hit it 450 feet. But I love it when a guy wears out, right-handed hitter, wears it out right center field with line drive.
Yeah, it reminds you of Phil Nevin, the ex-Padre, that could look like a left-handed pull hitter at times.
So Renfroe represents a go-ahead run at second base. Nobody out. Corey Spangenberg standing in. He is dropping the bunt down, but fouling it off at the dish. Popped out to the second baseman, Brandon Drury, first time up in the 2nd inning. Long look down at Glenn Hoffman. Bunting again, pulls it back, and will take a ball. With the signs for both Renfroe at second base and Spangenberg at the plate.
Looks like Corey Spangenberg wanted to pull this with him. You want to put pressure on the third baseman in this scenario.
On the ground, back to the mound, and Godley looks to run back at second, then tosses to first to retire Spangenberg for the first out of the inning. So unable to advance the runner there is Corey Spangenberg.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Godley. Good fielding position. A ball hit sharply. And in that situation, you want to make sure you get an out. When in doubt, get the out. Looked like it was daylight at second base to try to get Renfroe, but you know what? It's not a force play. It'd have to be a perfect throw. Get the for sure out at first.
So 1 out Renfroe at second base, and Austin Hedges the batter. And a half-hearted swing, changed his mind in the middle. .308 with runners in scoring position on the year, and that includes 2 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Curveball in there for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Well, Godley is not falling into a pattern. We've seen the good cutter today, also the breaking ball that we saw right there, but also shows the two-seamer to keep the hitters honest.
Back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Renfroe had to wait around to make sure it got through a bobble in center, and now Renfroe's going to try and score, and he will. Padres take a 2-1 lead. He had basically stopped at third base, and then the bobble out there in center by Blanco allowed him to try and score. He does, and the Padres take the lead.
Well, Don, you were exactly right, because Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach for the Padres, had to read the play in center field. You see the single up the middle, and then the bobble by Blanco. And you see the base running. Hunter Renfroe was going to be shut down. To see him slowing up a little bit and then picking up Glenn Hoffman and easily scoring. Put the Padres on top.
So no RBI on the plate is a single for Hedges. They've got Renfroe to third. The error by Blanco at center field allows Renfroe to score. And a 2-1 Padres lead now for Clayton Richard.
Now you're the base runner in that situation, and you pick up the third base coach before you get the bag. Then you plant your foot on the corner of the bag and then again pick him up. Good job by Hunter Renfroe.
Ibar to right field, and this is going to get in. A fair ball. Hedges headed for third, and he'll be stopped there by Glenn Hoffman. It's a double for Eric Ibar, and it's second and third now with 1 down to the inning for the Padres.
Well, keep putting pressure on Zach Godley. He's around the plate. This one certainly catches a lot of the plate. Inner third, and Ibar fights it off. Not hit on the sweet spot, but deadened just enough to elude the right fielder Chris Owings. And we got action.
The Padres have taken a 2-1 lead now. They're looking for more. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out there to talk to Zach Godley. Still only 1 out, and we got Clayton Richard coming up here to bat for the Padres out of the 9 spot. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Started him with that breaking ball again.
Yeah, that was a 2-strike breaking ball there. Had some good bite on it.
Infield in here for the Diamondbacks with 1 out of the inning. Runners at second and third. 0-2.
You can see what Godley's trying to do. You know, Clayton Richard, he can make contact at times, trying to put that ball on the ground with that infield in.
Trying to get Richard to chase there with a pitch away.
Well, that breaking ball has been inconsistent today, even though we saw 2 good ones the first 2 pitches. Clayton Richard, when he overthrows it, he can sit over the middle of the plate.
And bounce it too, so good secondary lead at third base. You see daylight, you got a great chance of scoring.
70th pitch of the day for Zach Godley. And it's a ground ball, base hit into right field for Richard. From third comes Hedges, he'll score, and the Padres will take a 3-1 lead. Clayton Richard helping out his own cause with a base hit through the right side.
You know, I'm not going to second guess the pitch. I'm going to second guess the location of the pitch. This is just too good. It's a cutter that he missed with. He threw 2 curveballs. Clayton swung and missed big time. He missed with the next curveball. That's a cutter and great protection. Playing a little game of pepper there for Clayton Richard. Finding the hole on the right side.
Now 2-strike hitting by Hedges and 2-strike hitting by Clayton Richard.
So first and third now. Still 1 out in the inning. 5 hits, 3 runs in. And Manuel Margot drops the bunt down. Coming from third base is going to be Ibar, and he is going to be out at the plate. So they try the squeeze, and Ibar is out at the plate.
That's a perfect pitch, and you can see just not executing it out front enough. Iannetta pounces on that and easily tags Ibar. You get that out front, and Ibar walks in.
Checking on Iannetta, trainer and manager, Torey Lovullo. He is okay. Richard takes second base. Margot takes first on the fielder's choice. And a chance here now for Alan Córdoba. Well, the Padres' first 3-run inning since the second inning Monday, May the 15th against Milwaukee. They've had a 3-run bottom of the 5th inning so far in this one. Córdoba's been pretty good in this spot, 3 for 7. Córdoba 1 for 2, single to right field in the 4th inning. A high strike call that time. Godley tries to calm himself down here in what has been a rough inning. Diamondback starter.
Godley's got the cutter away to the right. He got 2-seam to bring it back on the outer half.
The 25th pitch of the inning. Drops in there for strike 2. A curveball that time from Godley. Córdoba is the 8th member of the Padres to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ground ball up the middle, hit very softly, kicks towards Ahmed. His throw is going to be late. Córdoba beats it out. At the side of the mound, it kind of changed direction. Not that it was hit hard at all. And Ahmed coming in with Córdoba running, can't get him, and the bases are loaded.
Well, recently we have seen the speed of Alan Córdoba. Obviously, with 2 strikes, it's a jam shot, and Ahmed does everything he can. But now we're starting to see some of the talents of Alan Córdoba with more playing time.
He continues to play like this, he's going to be in there every day.
Yep.
And the fact that he can play different positions as well certainly helps. Infield, outfield, and Really some good at-bats lately. 2 for 3 in this game. Will Myers, 9th member of the Padres to bat in the inning. Fly ball to right field. Down the line towards the corner. Over goes Owings, and that'll be a foul ball.
That's an out. I think the umpire might call that an out. Fan reached over.
Interfered, and it is going to be an out. Brian Gorman looking down the line, making that call. You're exactly right, Mud. And he does lean over.
Oh, wow, man. I don't even think Chris Owings was even getting his glove out there to try to catch the ball.
That's a good point, Mark Sweeney. Did he have a chance?
And obviously the fan came over the stands to make that catch.
But is Owings in a position to make the catch?
Good
I'm
point.
not sure he was.
I don't think so either.
They're going to challenge. So they are going to review it here. And they're going to check with him. Spectator interference, of course, is challengeable. So the headphones they go.
Don and Mark, I think you make a good point here.
Well, he's looking at the fan. He's not looking for the ball to try to catch it. And he went a long way for this ball.
Let me ask you this, too. Does the ball hit the wall in foul ground with the way it's going?
I think it does from that angle. Very hard to tell. But from an outfielder's perspective, if you're going so far, your speed, you have to slow down. And that is wedged in the corner and not an easy catch.
And what are they going to do here? He's going to be out.
Wow.
Fan interference in right field will end this inning, end this rally. The Padres get 3 runs, including a leadoff home run by Ryan Schimpf. It's 3-1 San Diego. Over the Diamondbacks here in the top half of the 6th inning, and this was the play that ended the inning and really could have been a couple of runs here. It cost the Padres. And reaching over to make the catch. Apologizing to some fans around him. 0-1, a swing and a miss. Richard now working with the lead here in the top of the 6th inning.
Is that a koala hat?
This one fouled off.
That kid's wearing a koala hat.
Yes, he is what you want to be.
Well, next time on Animal Planet.
Where's the eucalyptus, he's saying? And I want to take a nap.
Yeah, where's the 18 hours of sleep?
On the run and in time. Nice play by Ibar to retire Zach Godley. Well, important for Richard to have a shutdown inning here in the 6th inning after the Padres have grabbed the lead. 4 in a row retired by Richard. And we go to the top of the order for Gregor Blanco. Is that true? They sleep 19 hours a day?
18 hours
18
on the air,
hours
yeah.
a day.
Yeah. And then they just roll over and
it's a lot of
snack.
sleep.
Yeah.
They
On
eat
the average.
eucalyptus the rest of the time.
That's their alarm clock, the eucalyptus.
They mostly at night they eat. Sleep during the day.
But I've seen you eat a lot at all times of the day.
Non-eucalyptus items.
Is there eucalyptus in ice cream?
Blanco 0 for 2. Blanco is grounded out at second, popped out to short, tries to bunt at it and fouls it off. 1-2 strikes here to Blanco. Spent the last 5 years with the San Francisco Giants, now in a Diamondbacks uniform. Do you know any koala bears? I mean, is that where you're getting this information? Or?
No, I've done some research. Just because it was just compelling to me how I'd love to sleep.
Compelling and rich.
Yeah.
Third strikeout for Richard. 2 down here in the 6th inning.
I mean, give me a rock and a newspaper and I can take a nap anywhere.
Now 5 in a row retired now by Richard. Brings up Nick Ahmed.
The blizzard of '77 in Chicago. We found out we were going to have school the next day. I went to bed at 10:30 that night. I slept in the basement because it was dark, cold. I love it like that. I didn't get out of bed till 5:30 the next day when my dad came home from work. My mom yelled down the stairs, "Mark, dinner!" 10:30 that night.
Yep.
Slept all the way. Okay, 10:30 next morning. 5:30 that night. Dad drives up in the Carmen Ghia. Dinner time. That's how long I slept.
Sausage for dinner.
Extra sausage.
This is grounded softly down the third baseline. Richard will plant and throw, and it hits the runner. Was he inside the line is going to be the question here, running down that first base line. And the indication is no.
Yeah, I think that throw was up the line. And, you know, this can get kind of dicey too, Mark Sweeney, because when you've got your arm like Will Myers reaching across there, and then, oh, he get it out of the way there.
Now really, there's only so far you can go. Because the right-handers, your momentum is going towards the baseball. Left-handers, you can kind of go with the throw and just rotate. Easier for left-handed first baseman.
So a runner here with 2 down, and Paul Goldschmidt gets a chance. He's 0 for 2. He is flying out to the warning track in right and grounded out to shortstop.
See if Clayton Richard pitches backwards here. Change up, 1-0 count. Maybe get some for Goldschmidt to roll over. Fastball in. Get it in there.
2-0. Fastball at 93 miles an hour for Clayton Richard. He's gone 5 2/3, and so far he's only given up 3 hits and a run.
I think what makes Paul Goldschmidt so dangerous in these scenarios is that he commits to the opposite way. Has the ability to go the other way with power.
And be very careful in dealing with him, as you might imagine. And he's fallen behind him now, 3-0. Flared foul, had the green light there, 3-0, and he went after it, fouls it off. One changeup, and it is lined down the left field line, foul.
Boston's beating Oakland 6-3 in the 6th. Seattle's getting whitewashed 8-0 in the 6th. Dodgers over the Marlins 6-1 in the 7th. Rockies winners 6-4 over the Reds. That's a final.
Payoff pitch coming up here to Paul Goldschmidt with 2 outs and Nick Ahmed at first base.
Throw 3 changeups in a row here?
Why not? You throw 3 fastballs in a row, right? That's a good question. That's a good point.
To left field, Cordoba moving over to make the catch on the screaming line drive. 5.5 done, 3-1 Padres. Padres enjoying a 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning. And a great bottom of the 5th where they scored 3 times. Had a chance for more. This one is in the air to shallow center. Ahmed out there will put it away for out number 1 of the inning, and Ryan Schimpf retired to start this bottom of the 6th inning. Brings up Hunter Renfroe. 1-4-2. Fly down to center and double. He also came around to score the second Padres run.
How do you hold that?
Hit the ball.
Renfroe now. Spangenberg waiting on deck, and that'll drop a little bit low. 2-0. Zach Godley at 80 pitches now in his outing through 5 1/3 innings.
And this is where
shutout innings going into last inning before the big inning. And a base hit through the left side. Renfroe's 2 for 3 in the ball game.
Sorry about that, Don. I was just going to say to Mark Sweeney, this is the 2-0 count that you love to see Hunter Renfroe take a swing like this, but it's got to be a pitch that's right there. That was right down the middle, not the pitcher's pitch. 2-0 down and away, right?
Yeah, and you think about it too, Mark. He set his body up the last time with that double. He's in a perfect scenario to pull it correctly and in that hole hard. That's when you got to do damage. If you elevate that, that's out of the ballpark.
On the ground by the glove of Godley, out to Drury to second for 1, on to first for 2. So the double play concludes the 6th inning. Spangenberg grounding into it. We head for the 7th. 3-1 Padres.
Rides, you ready to go have some fun?
All right, let's do it.
Want to play some basketball?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's bet lunch.
Don't choke.
Oh man, you talked to me while I did my, oh no.
Winner.
This week's Padres POV presented by Nissan. Tonight after Padres Live on Fox Sports San Diego. That's on here to inning number 7. Chris Owings leading it off. Fouled off down the right field line, out of play. Did he go? No. As they check with Brian Gorman, first base umpire. Owings, Tomas, and Drury to bat in the inning.
This is where Richard has to locate. 2-1, and he probably swung at a ball there, but hey, working to the advantage of Clayton Richard, and now he can put him away with the 2-2 pitch.
On the ground up the middle from shortstop Ibar to his left, and the throw to first base in time. Owings retired for the third time today, this time 6-3.
Very nice pitch by Clayton Richard, jamming the hitter Owings and allowing him to get that grounder and have Ibar go to work. Owings getting down the line quickly. See the target, he gets it, you know, it catches a little bit of the plate, but down by the label of Owings. Big first out.
Tomas with a pretty good rip there, but he fouls it off Hedges, and yet again Hedges nicked on a foul tip here. Not sure where this one got him, but they all sting.
Oof, right in the chest.
Swing and a miss, and he climbed the ladder on Tomas to pick up his 4th strikeout. 2 down here in the 7th inning.
You got that right, Donnie. 4-seed fastball up in the zone. Clayton Richard is hitting his spots this afternoon. Look at the glove of Hedges, top of the strike zone, and he threads the needle at 94. And you mentioned it earlier. Tomas will chase. He chased that one.
Strike over the outside corner to Drury. Fly ball foul down the right field line, out of play. Richard has gone 6 2/3 so far, 77 pitches deep. He has a 3-1 lead. This is exactly what the Padres needed from their veteran starter here today. Oh, 2. Took a step towards the dugout, thought they had strike 3, close pitch. Swing and a miss, and now he gets him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Richard, 5 in all. It's 7th inning stretch. And the Padres have a 3-1 lead here. We'll keep it right here on this Military Sunday from Petco Park in San Diego. U.S. Coast Guard being honored here today by the Padres. And we'll keep it here for God Bless America. Petty Officer 2nd Class Mike Dallinger, United States Coast Guard sector in San Diego, will do the honors from field level.
It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Before we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" here on Military Sunday, please stand and welcome back Petty Officer 2nd Class Mike Dallinger. Please sing along as he presents "God Bless America."
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Now the Padres with a 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 7th inning. And trying to bunt his way on. A good one is Austin Hedges. Off the mound is Godley, and a great play by Zach Godley. Delivery was taking him to the other side of the mound, but he quickly adjusts. And Hedges is retired. 1-3 for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning.
You know, for a big kid, Zach Godley can feel this position. He had a one-hopper back to him earlier in the game, and then getting that one quickly, and it's not only getting to it quickly, but also firing a strike to first base. Padres trying to add on. Not a bad idea by Austin Hedges.
One down here in the 7th, and it brings up Eric Ibar. Another bunt bid. Out is Iannetta, and that's 2 down here in the 7th inning. So the Padres trying to bunt their way on here in the 7th, and so far it's not working. First Godley, then Iannetta able to handle it. 2 down in the 7th. And here comes Clayton Richard. He's throwing 79 pitches through the first 7 innings.
Hopefully, wow. Hacking at the first pitch there. I was wondering if Clayton was kind of trying to work the count, so it can maybe extend this inning a little bit more, to give him a little bit more of a breather before he takes the mound again. 2 quick outs.
Richard 1 for 2, single to drive in a run in the 5th inning. Jumps back out of the way of a pitch a little bit up. 2-1. Center fielder Gregor Blanco over towards the left center for Richard to go the other way. Pretty standard when a pitcher is batting. This one popped up foul off to the left, and it evens at 2-2. TJ McFarland just added to the Diamondbacks roster before the game. First action we've seen out there for the Diamondbacks. Their starters have been going deeply into games, of course, with the offensive support in games 1 and 2. So their bullpen in pretty good shape, but they did add a reliever today. On the ground to the second baseman, Brandon Drury. At the end of 7 from San Diego, the Padres have a 3-1 lead.
Mark and I working on Padres Live, the post-game show, brought to you by Cox Communications. Clayton Richard, nice day.
79 pitches coming into this inning. He's been very efficient. Hopefully he can even go deeper in this ball game, possibly finishing.
Yeah, got himself an RBI to boot.
It's nice.
Yeah, when we see you on the post-game show, we'll talk about everything that happened here as the series wraps up with the Diamondbacks. Remember, an off day tomorrow, so Mark and I have to get you ready for the Mets before the Nationals as the team heads out on the road. You'll hear from Andy Green as well, so we'll see you after the final out. Don, Mark?
All right, Mike and Mark, thanks very much. A good day so far here for the Padres, on top 3-1 into the 8th inning. And Jake Lamb to lead it off here. It's the bottom third of the Diamondbacks order. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. Lamb 0 for 2. He's grounded out to first base and struck out swinging.
Well, Clayton Richard has got those crosshairs dialed in perfectly. He is hitting his spots. Nice and easy. I don't think he's overthrown a pitch all afternoon after watching him. Just getting into a good throwing position and throwing to the glove of Austin Hedges.
Bunt bid and out aggressively is Hedges, but a foul ball.
Like a puma. Like a cat. You know, that was close to being a fair ball.
It was.
Very tough call for the umpire, though, because it's where the ball is touched. Yeah, that's a foul ball. Good call by Ramon de Jesus, the home plate umpire.
Swing and a miss, and he makes quick work of Jake Lamb. That is 3 strikeouts in a row now for Clayton Richard. Well, it's time now for our San Diego fans of the game. Some fans enjoying day baseball here from Petco Park in San Diego. And so far, enjoying the score with the Padres on top 3-1.
No, you can't beat fun at the old ballpark.
Right field and Renfroe. Route number 2. That is now 6 in a row retired by Clayton Richard. And Mark Grant, what can we do and not do with the video?
I'll tell you, Donnie, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
You know, David Peralta coming up here to pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. That is the day for Zach Godley. He will depart here after 7 innings. Out 8 hits and 3 runs. Walked 1, struck out 1, and threw 89 pitches in his outing today. On the ground and a base hit, a pinch hit here into left field. And Cordova will get it back in quickly, but a 2-out pinch hit single for David Peralta.
He's a hitting machine. 4 hits last night, all singles. He scored 3 runs. He had 2 hits in the first game of the series on Friday, one of them being a home run, and he continues to hit in the pinch hitting role.
Well, as Richard continues to throw here in the inning and is up to 86 pitches. Brad Hand beginning to warm in the pen for the Padres. Kind of yanked that one back to the screen. No chance for Hedges, and to second base goes Peralta. Wild pitch charge to Clayton Richard. That one just took off on him. Flared foul down the left field line, out of play. Blanco 0 for 3. A strikeout victim his last time up. He's also grounded out and popped out. Top spot in the Diamondbacks order. Just off the outside edge, and Richard wanted that. Next pitch will be the 90th for Richard of this outing. On the ground, right side. Spangenberg ranges to the outfield grass, spins and fires. Nice play by Spangenberg. We head to the bottom of the 8th with the Padres on top 3-1. Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Petco, your complete pet store with all the services you need. By USAA, official military appreciation partner of the San Diego Padres. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealers, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Celebrating the U.S. Coast Guard here today at Military Sunday from Petco Park in San Diego. As we head into the last half of the 8th inning, Padres have a 3-1 lead. New pitcher in the game now for the Diamondbacks, as he was just called up today. DJ McFarland taking over here now.
Well, the left-hander, after following Godley, the right-hander, his 6th game. Pretty decent splits, lefties and righties alike. No walks and only 5 2/3. And a nice ERA at 1.5. Always working from the stretch in the extreme third base side of the pitcher's plate.
The That pitching change was brought to you by El Cajon Ford. Zach Godley, 7 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs. He walked a batter, struck out a batter, but he departs on the hook. There's a ground ball to shortstop. Nick Ahmed has it go right through him and into left field. So Margot aboard here to begin the last of the 8th inning. It's an error charged to Ahmed. Well, it's time now for the Bill Howe play of the game, and it was our ceremonial first pitch. Commander Eric Cooper from the United States Coast Guard Sector San Diego's executive officer. Got a good first pitch here today, and great to have the U.S. Coast Guard here today and part of a great ceremony before the game. And Padres honoring the service members of the United States Coast Guard. They're all on the baselines today. Lead runner on for the Padres, error charge to the Diamondbacks shortstop, and here's Cordoba as a check on Margot at first base.
August 4th, 1790, the Coast Guard started.
They had a pretty impressive flyover as well. The United States Coast Guard Sector San Diego's MH-60 Jayhawk aircraft up over Petco Park.
The machinery is just so impressive, isn't it?
Amazing.
Semper Paratus means always ready, and they are.
3-1 Padres with the lead. First, nobody out, and Cordoba grounds one to third base. Lamb will go to second at a double pump, and that cost him. Looked like Drury was a little late in getting over there at second base, so Lamb did not throw it right away. It was kind of a double pump. They do get the lead runner in Margot. 5-4 in the force out at second base. One on, and Will Myers standing in. Myers has flied out to right, walked. There's a ball with a fan interference. And it looked to be a foul ball down the right field line, but a fan reaching over interfered with the right fielder Chris Owings trying to make the catch down there by catching the ball, and cost the Padres likely a couple of runs. Instead was the final out of the 5th inning. Last time Will was up. One for 9 in the series. Swing and a miss. A little bit of the fastball at 90 miles an hour.
Not throwing that hard. McFarland will turn it over, both the two-seamer and the changeup.
Zach Godley for 7 innings now. T.J. McFarland working here in the 8th. Surrounded the plate but missed. 3-1. With a lead at first base. Goldschmidt holding him on. And that's ball 4. Myers aboard here with 1 down in the inning. It's time now for our Ram Trucks Tools of the Trade, focusing on Ryan Schimpf.
Well, the home run was the story last year for Schimpf. How about the location? Lower half of the zone, down and in, lower left, and he turns on it. It was a 2-seam fastball. Godley missed with location, and Ryan Schimpf connected for number 10 on the year.
Well, interesting here for the Padres, on top 3-1 in a save situation, and no sign of Brandon Maurer out there warming up. Looks like Clayton Richards going to try to go the distance here today. 90 pitches so far on the day through the first 8.
I say go for it. I like it. I like it a lot. deserved it, right?
Absolutely. Strike called here to Schimpf. Home run for Schimpf back in the 5th inning, tied the score at the time. His 10th home run of the year, halfway to what his total number was a year ago of 20 home runs on the season. In the dirt and nicely gathered by Chris Iannetta. Padres have 2 on with 1 away. Still do not have a hit in the inning.
It would be nice to add on here. Give a little pad for Clayton Richard.
Fights it off foul, and the count evens at 2-2. That's part of the move for TJ McFarland, activated from the 10-day DL with left ankle contusion. On goes Taijuan Walker to the DL. A blister on his right index finger. Pitching here in game 1 of the series. 6th appearance of the year for McFarland. A 1.59 earned run average coming in. Schimpf grounded foul, and we'll do it again.
He's gotten 1 pitch to hit this at bat. We showed you on the Fox tracks there. There was a pitch that Ryan could have gotten extended, but trying to keep it down and trying to jam is Schimpf.
And there by Iannetta. Called the ball, full count.
Trax had it as a strike. But you know what, the location of that pitch, the way the catcher caught it, you know, it's very rarely you get that call.
Schimpf gets hit.
That hurts.
Fastball 90 miles an hour from McFarland.
That's in that area in the back, right around the kidneys on the side. Oh, very sensitive area.
Now Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, coming out here to talk to McFarland. Bases now loaded with 1 out, and a terrific opportunity for the Padres to add on to what is a 2-run advantage right now in the last of the 8th inning. And it'll be Hunter Renfroe coming up. Already has 2 hits today. Padres pretty good today with runners in scoring position. So far 3 for 6 in that category. One out, bases loaded. Bases filled with Padres, 1 down. And a strike over the outside corner to Renfroe. And hits for Hunter, a double in the 5th, a single in the 6th inning. They are playing very deeply in the outfield are the Diamondbacks. Soft ground ball towards the mound. McFarland glove to glove, and it hits the bat and a run scores. Didn't think he had time to make the transfer, so he kind of flipped it with his glove. It hits a bat that is still there in the box. And scoring from third is Cordoba, and the Padres take a 4-1 lead.
Now that's adding on. Padres will take that. The glove-handed flip. And that's just by chance, because the bat is just left by the hitter. There's no intent there by the hitter to leave it there for somebody to run into it or a ball to hit it. So that's just a live baseball.
It is a base hit and an RBI for Renfroe. A 3-hit day today for Renfroe. Now Spangenberg will take ball 1. Corey 0 for 3 today, grounded into a double play his last time up.
And you know what, quite frankly, that's a beautiful thing, and it's about time the Padres getting some breaks here, finding some holes, and finding a way to add on right there to make it 4-1.
Two and 0. Chop foul, and it's 2-1. Fowler's thrown 20 pitches in his return here to the Diamondbacks today. Padres have added a run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Three and 1, missing in 95. That's the hardest McFarland's thrown since coming into the game. And off the mark there for the left-hander.
Got to get at least 2 more here. 6-1's got a nice ring to it.
Fouled off, and it's a full count now. So the runners here with 1 out of the inning are at third base. Myers, Schimpf at second, Renfroe at first. And the umpire getting a glancing blow on the foul tip. Easy for me to say that it was glancing.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Fouled off, we'll do it again. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Padres. A run, 4 hits, and 2 errors for the Diamondbacks. Spangenberg now, Hedges next, 1 out in the inning. Padres have already added a run. In the air to center field. Blanco moving back and over will make the catch, tagging at third, and scoring is Will Myers. An RBI for Corey Spangenberg, and the Padres take a 5-1 lead. Tack on another.
It's a nice job by Corey getting something elevated the other way and taking the ball exactly where it was pitched.
First and third with now 2 down in the inning, and here's Austin Hedges. 2 for 8 in the series as he takes a pitch outside. 1 for 3 today, single, and scored in the 5th inning. 5-1 Padres, adding 2 more here in the last of the 8th inning. Schimpf at third, Renfroe across the diamond at first. McFarland's been touched for 2. Swing and a miss as Hedges goes chasing on the changeup. And a swing and a miss. Hedges strikes out to end the inning. 2 runs in the inning for the Padres. They take a 5-1 lead to the 9th. Ryan Schimpf with the Padres trailing 1-0 hits a home run for Schimpf, his 10th of the year, and it tied the game 1-1. Padres were not done though in the 5th inning. A double by Hunter Renfroe, then a base hit by Austin Hedges scores Renfroe, and the Padres took a 2-1 lead. Then Clayton Richard with a base hit through the infield on the right side, and that would score Hedges and give the Padres a 3-1 lead. They tack on 2 more in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Richard going after the complete game here today as he is back on the mound in the 9th inning. Nick Ahmed leading it off and sending a line drive to center right at Margot for out number 1. Well, it's time now for our Carl's Jr. star of the game, and it is Clayton Richard, who so far 8 1/3 deep into his outing has been terrific today. Just the 1 run, the home run by Iannetta back in the 3rd inning, and he is exactly what the Padres needed today.
You know, other than the home run, Don, just singles given up by Clayton Richard after all told 4 to this point. As far as hits, no walks, struck out 6. Got 2 more to go.
1 hopper that gets by Ibar at shortstop and into left field. Goldschmidt aboard with 1 down. It's a base hit for Goldschmidt, his first hit of the game. It's now 5 for Arizona.
And in this inning, the Diamondbacks still being aggressive early.
Yeah, they've not changed the formula that has worked for them so far in the series. So 1 out, 1 on, and Chris Owings coming up. 0 for 3 day today. A guy who sitting at .331 coming into this game. Fly out, 2 ground outs.
Tell you what, those 2 runs that the Padres scored in the 8th are bigly huge. You don't need the perfect scenario right here as we talk about complete games.
He's got 3 of them on his resume. Last time 2012.
Dialing up a nice little 3 hopper to one of your infielders to wrap this one up.
Here you go. Here's a 2 hopper to short.
Hey,
to second for 1 on to first. It's late. They do get Goldschmidt at second base on the force out, but too much speed for Owings. So close.
Yeah, the too high of a chopper is the difference, and with Owings heading down the line, he's got good speed.
Well, Clayton thought he had it. More pitches are going to be required here. Yasmani Tomas standing in. 1-for-3. And a ground ball to shortstop. Ibar will go to second, and the Padres win. The Padres salvage a final game of this 3-game series and end the homestand on a good note. It's a complete game for Clayton Richard as the Padres win this one 5-1. Now what's on tap of the postgame, Mike Pomerantz?
Well, Donnie, we're going to take a look at just what worked for Clayton Richard today. More than that, we'll speak to Andy Green, his thoughts on what he got out of his left-hander, and we'll get you set for the New York Mets.